together, Jessica. Need help or want to pick my brain? I'm always open to help. I would love to hear it. I do. You want Mike to be there too? Well, I'm open for that too.
It's like he's got a good plan.
No.
We're chatting through it.
If Madam Clerk, if you are ready, we will get started.
Yes, thank you, sir. If you can please state your name for the record. Members from the City of Colton.
David Toro.
Thank you, sir. Members from the City of Loma Linda.
Phil Duper.
Dusty Rigsby.
Thank you. Member from the County of San Bernardino 2nd District.
Armendariz present.
And member from the County of San Bernardino 5th District.
Baca present.
Members from the City of San Bernardino.
Councilmember Ibarra.
And Fred Charette.
Thank you. We have quorum.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, do we have any comments on closed session?
No, sir, we do not.
Okay, at this point, we are going to adjourn to the back for closed session, and we'll be back in a little bit. Okay, we're back from closed session. I'm going to ask our attorney to take us out.
We do not have any reportable action.
Okay, thank you very much. We're going to move on to our regular open session agenda, and we'll start with a call to order and a pledge of allegiance led by Councilmember Ibarra. And do we want to start with that or the roll first? I'm waiting to see if Jillian's ready.
Sorry, the interpretation is not working. Can you give us a second to figure out?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
guys, okay, everything's good? Okay, good, great. Okay, we're going to move on to our open session, and want to start with the roll call first.
Yes, sir. Thank you. If you can please state your name for the record. Members from the City of Colton.
Councilmember David Toro.
Thank you. Members from the City of Loma Linda.
Phil Duper.
Dusty Rigsby.
Thank you. Member from the County of San Bernardino 2nd District.
Armendariz present.
Member from the County of San Bernardino 5th District.
Baca present.
And members from the City of San Bernardino.
Councilmember Sandra Ibarra, present.
Fred Charette.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Ibarra, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Yes. Please stand. Place your hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Burrows, do we have any items to be added or deleted?
No, sir.
Okay, we will deal with conflicts of interest if they arise. And moving into informational items, section G and 2A, Mr. Burrows.
Yeah, so I'm going to actually bring up our UAS Center at SBD Administrator, Ms. Benson, for an update on your UAS Center. Kim, thanks for being with us. Hang on, mic's not working.
Don't know.
Okay.
Better?
Oh, there we
Sorry
go,
about
thanks.
that. Okay. Okay. Next screen, please. So as you know, we have three main objectives of the UAS Center. We focus on advancing the drone industry in our region. We focus on creating safer communities, and we focus on workforce development. We recently opened our Norton Test Range, which is part of the FAA test site program nationwide. And that test range is available for drone companies to continue to develop, do research and development on their products. This is a significantly expanded.
Lost it again there.
We lost your mic again.
Hello, hello.
There we go.
We also have a partnership with Sunrise Ranch, which is a 1,600 acre parcel of land that was purchased by the San Bernardino Municipal Valley Water District for conservancy purposes. We're partnering with them to utilize drone technology to monitor the land and to support their environmental efforts in that area. Furthermore, we recently arranged for a drone company to sign a lease for space at SBD, something of which we're very proud, and one of our main objectives is to attract businesses to the area, companies to SBD and the environment. So really proud of that. And then lastly, we recently received a grant to do a feasibility study in the state of Virginia through an economic development agency there to look at replicating a center similar to ours, but focused on the energy sector that particular economic development agency is focusing on in their area. If all goes well, we are hoping that will turn into an actual entity, and we can generate revenue by interfacing with them and assisting them. Next slide. In terms of creating safer communities, we are doing quite a bit of work with agencies around government agencies, including emergency response agencies such as the Sheriff's Department in the County of San Bernardino, and with San Bernardino, Riverside, and now as of yesterday also Victorville. We're working with them to offer training to their department members on how to use drones, how to become certified drone pilots, and then use those drones tactically to provide greater safety for communities. Lastly, we also deliver customized training for individual government agency employees with the Department of Agriculture and the Department of the Interior. And we work with employees nationwide on an individual basis to assist them as well. Lastly, developing our workforce. We have continued to double down on our efforts to assist people to become certified drone pilots, which has become quite a fundamental skill for people of all ages. And we continue to expand our regional occupational program through the County of San Bernardino Superintendent of Schools. We have classes booked for secondary and post-secondary students solidly through July. We also have continued to expand our program to offer internships for college students who are majoring in either UAS technology and or software engineering. Both of those fields are very integral to drone technology, and we are very proud to be working with Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, as well as Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, both of whom have specialties in those particular areas. We continue to expand our drone training programs for high school students. We have a variety of programs. We provide all kinds of tours and events to get them excited about the drone industry and the careers that are offered by that. And then lastly, we've developed a business model to deliver a Train the Trainer program with a nonprofit organization in South Central Los Angeles that enables them to train a far greater number of students through that structure. So that particular organization is working on providing a program to 75 students at a time, which is quite a bit bigger than what we do, and we're really proud of that as well. Thank you.
And obviously, you've got a few upcoming items on here, and we'll keep you updated as new developments occur. So appreciate your support.
Any questions from the board? Okay, thank you, Mr. Burrows. I'm assuming that is both 2A and B, right? Correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Moving on to the consent calendar.
Move it.
I have a first.
Buck, a second.
First and a second.
Can you repeat who made the first motion, please?
Dr. Rigsby.
Thank you so much. We have a motion by Member Rigsby and a second by Member Baca. Please state your votes for the record. Member Toro?
Yes.
Member Duper?
Yes.
Member Rigsby?
Yes.
Member Baca?
Baca, aye.
Member Almendares?
Almendares, aye.
Member Charette?
Yes.
And Member Ibarra?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Okay, moving on to the most exciting part of the evening, our board action items. And number 6, receive and file our annual independent audit report. Mr. Cousineau.
Thank you, Mayor. We have our excellent audit team from Rogers, Anderson, Melody, and Scott present tonight with Brad Welleber, Veronica Hernandez, and Monica Wasaki. And they're here to present our audit and respond to any of the board's questions. The RAM's presentation will include basically the audit objective, the standards used, responsibility and roles, and audit results, and followed with questions. And I want to extend that our finance team is very appreciative. They did yeoman's job this year because we changed our accounting system June 1st, and they had to audit both the old system and the new system and the agony that came with it. So thank you.
All right. Good evening. Nice to be with you. I'm Brad Welleber, Engagement Partner on the audit of the IVDA for fiscal year ended June 30, 2024. And I'm joined with my colleagues Veronica and Monica. I just wanted to thank Mike and Mark and their teams for helping us get through this audit work. As Mark mentioned, the biggest challenge this year was that conversion of the software, which is a very common challenge when an agency switches that, but they handled it quite well. And we're still delivering a timely report. So congratulations for that. And then we're going to be sharing only good news with you today, but we'll be available to answer any questions you have. And I'm going to turn it over to Monica, who was the senior accountant in charge of the team who did the audit this year, and she's going to run you through a presentation.
Good afternoon. So we prepared the audit this year. And the objective of our audit was to express an opinion on management financial statements. So after we gathered the information, we received sufficient and appropriate audit evidence to provide reasonable assurance, which is not absolute, of the financial statements that are free. There we go. Our opinion as to whether the financial statements are presented fairly in all material aspects in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. So fairly, but not absolute assurance. So, do we have a clicker? Okay. So the audit standards that we followed are GAS, which is our generally accepted auditing standards, our GAAP, which is our generally accepted accounting standards. We also followed what's called GAGAS, which is our generally accepted government auditing standards. And due to the entity receiving more than $750,000 in federal expenditures, uniform guidance of the single audit. So responsibilities for management's responsibilities for the financial statements, to provide us with complete and accurate financial records, and to apply the framework for internal control, including the controls that prevent and detect fraud. Your job as a governing body is fiduciary responsibility to ensure bills, obligations, I'm too short, for internal control and financial reporting. Now, our responsibilities as the auditors is to obtain reasonable assurance that the financial statements are free from material misstatement, to examine on a test basis that disclosures are sufficient.
I think the battery's dying because I think it goes
so.
in and out.
Or maybe it just doesn't like me, I don't know. And to assess whether the accounting principles applied are properly in the uses of estimates, and evaluate that they're appropriate overall, the financial presentation. And the most important but not least, to express an opinion on the financial statements. So our opinion for the financial statements for the audit of 2024 is unmodified, which is our highest level of assurance. That means that we believe the financial statements are fairly presented in all material aspects, that significant accounting policies have been consistently applied, and that estimates are reasonable and disclosures are properly reflected. Other reporting that you were provided with is the report of internal controls. It's called the GAGAS reports, and I believe there were no findings on the internal controls to report. Communication with governance, there was really nothing significant that we needed to communicate with you that would merit your attention, and the single audit report for those federal expenditures. Do you have any questions for us?
Mr. Cousineau was phenomenal to work with, correct?
Oh, yes, absolutely, always.
Because that's what he tells us all the time.
Unfortunately, this year we had to do our first year-end audit remotely due to the fires. Yeah. It was the smoke. It was during when the fires were really bad, so we missed chatting with you during the year-end. But yes, thank you.
Any questions from the board? Okay, seeing none. Thank you all very much for your presentation, Brad. Good to see you, sir. Okay, receive and file, I'm assuming on that, correct? Let's move on to item number 7. I'm going to ask if we can table this and bring it back. Typically, we do everything on a 2-year cycle here, and we just brought back or inducted a new board for this next 2 years, and we had talked about bringing this back 2 years ago to look at it again and whether or not that was appropriate. So at some point, we do want to talk about this, but we don't necessarily need to do it tonight. If we could table that, I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right. Does that need a motion? Okay.
Thank you, sir. We have a motion by Member Charette and a second by Member Almendarez. Please state your votes for the record. Member Toro.
Yes.
Member Duper?
Yes.
Member Rigsby?
Yes.
Member Baca?
Buckeye.
Member Almendarez?
Almendarez, aye.
Member Charette?
Yes.
And Member Ibarra? Thank you. The motion's passed. Table the item.
Thank you very much. Now moving on to our budget adjustments. If you're not too mad at me, Mr. Kuznelli.
Never.
All right.
This action is to consider approving a net increase in budgetary expenditures of $180,000 that will be funded with ongoing revenues and existing resources. The proposed expenditures are within the general fund, budget class 52, professional services for anticipated environmental and cultural survey services, $70,000 for the 3rd Street improvement, which is Del Rosa to Victoria, and the $50,000 to support development of former Norton Air Force Base properties, and that is for a total of $120,000. The final $60,000 is coming from the general fund, budget class 63, capital improvement projects, and that is for site preparation and construction of a concrete drive and parking lot adjacent to building 58. And that concludes my report. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, sir. Any questions from the board?
Baca moves.
Motion from both supervisors, or first and a second, rather.
Thank you, sir. We have a motion by Member Baca and a second by Member Almendarez. Please state your votes for the record. Member Toro?
Yes.
Member Duper?
Yes.
Member Rigsby?
Yes.
Member Baca?
Buckeye.
Member Almendarez?
Almendarez, aye.
Member Charette?
Yes.
And Member Ibarra? Yes. Thank you.
Okay, number 9, looking at a lease agreement. Mr. Hale.
Good evening. Submitting for the board approval is the form of a lease agreement with AIBOT U.S. Support LLC for a portion of former Norton Air Force Base building number 58. AIBOT, the proposed tenant, is a Delaware limited liability company which operates an aerospace research and development company based in Long Beach, California. Under the terms of the proposed lease, AIBOT would lease approximately 15,181 square feet of interior and exterior space in proximity to building number 58. It's recommended that the board approve the formal lease agreement with AIBOT and authorize the chief executive officer to execute all related documents subject to technical and conforming changes as approved by legal counsel. There is no fiscal impact for the 2024-25 fiscal year and its budget. The initial 12 months rent is $117,728. Regarding the background information, building number 58 is a 61,000 square foot facility that was previously operated by the United States Air Force Base Exchange. Over the years, the IVDA has leased portions of the building to companies such as Technical Employment Training and Inland Empire Film Services, and more recently, APD Incorporated and Our Brew Brewing Company. AIBOT operates a Long Beach, California operation and is a state of California Go Biz Cal Competes Award winner for innovation. The company is interested in leasing approximately 15,181 square feet of interior and exterior space at the southerly portion of the building to establish a new research and development center to support the company's efforts. AIBOT is a research and development company that has developed proprietary aviation technology and is in the process of scaling production for commercial sale, distribution, and support. It's been in business since 2019, and this LLC was formed in the state of Delaware in October 2022. The principal terms and conditions of the proposed lease are as follows. Again, the premises are approximately 15,181 square feet. Lease term 3 years with a 3-year option to extend. 3% annual rent escalations. Security deposit equal to 2 months' rent upon execution of the lease. The monthly base rent lease revenue of $11,728 per month. Modified gross lease. AIBOT to maintain all portions of the premises and pay all its utility charges, electric, janitorial, data, telecommunications, and refuse expenses. AIBOT to pay all its possessory interest taxes and maintain commercial general liability and fire insurance coverage, naming IVDA as an additional insured. AIBOT to comply with all applicable laws, IVDA, airport, and local rules and regulations. Recommend that the board approve the above recommended action, and that's the end of my presentation.
Thank you, sir. Any questions from the board? If not, we'll entertain a motion from this. Supervisor Baca moves it, and at least Supervisor Armendariz was number 2.
Thank you. We have a motion by Member Baca and a second by Member Armendariz. Please state your votes for the record. Member Toro?
Yes.
Member Duper?
Yes, ma'am.
Member Rigsby?
Yes.
Member Baca?
Baca, aye.
Member Armendariz? Member Charette?
Yes.
And Member Ibarra?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving on to item number 10, which is to look at a resolution for the Norton Test Range. I know there's some exciting stuff going on there.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Obviously, in line and in a partnership with our new tenant and others, the new Norton Test Range project has been determined to be eligible for community project funding and congressionally directed spending. On the federal level, there's some time triggers to be able to submit for eligibility on that. The draft resolution is based off of the congressional and Senate forms and instruction, and obviously the IVDA as the governing body would need to endorse the submission there. The initial request is up to $500,000, and we would love your support to move that forward.
Any questions?
Baca moves.
We have a first and another second.
Thank you. We have a motion by Member Baca and a second by Member Armendariz. Please state your votes for the record. Member Toro?
Yes.
Member Duper?
Yes.
Member Rigsby?
Yes.
Member Baca?
Baca, aye.
Member Armendariz?
Armendariz, aye.
Member Charette?
Yes.
And Member Ibarra?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Looking forward to hearing more about that, Mike. Number 11, approve an amendment number 1 to the agreement for professional services with Mr. Dodson Associates. Ms. Belcher.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm seeking an amendment to our existing agreement with Tom Dodson and Associates. This is to accommodate additional environmental consulting services. The current on-call agreement has been crucial in supporting environmental reports and research for several projects this past year, and we've now fully used the allocated budget. So speaking about a specific project, the new Norton Test Range, we've made lots of progress with clearing and moving dirt at this new location, and to stay on track with regulatory requirements, we'll need additional support from Tom Dodson. We're requesting an increase of $50,000, and again, this is to ensure that we have necessary expertise to help us navigate through this next phase. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Comments, motion?
Move it.
First by Dr. Grigsby. Second by Supervisor Baca.
Thank you. We have a motion by Member Rigsby and a second by Member Baca. Please state your votes for the record. Member Toro?
Yes.
Member Duper?
Yes.
Member Rigsby?
Yes.
Member Baca?
Baca, aye.
Member Armendariz?
Armendariz, aye.
Member Charette?
Yes.
And Member Ibarra?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, this seems a little like Groundhog's Day, but number 12, approve a professional services agreement with Tom Dodson and Associates.
Yes. So this item is to seek authorization for a professional services agreement with Tom Dodson and Associates for the 3rd Street Corridor project. So while this project is being funded by U.S. Department of Transportation, it is being managed through Caltrans. So as part of Caltrans' environmental process, the IVDA has been requested that we conduct an aerially deposited survey for the project. And this survey is going to help determine and assess if there's any lead contamination in the soil along the roadway. So staff's requested a proposal from Dodson and Associates to conduct the survey, and they can provide these services for an amount of $67,485. Once the survey has been completed, the findings and recommendations will be submitted to Caltrans for their review and approval. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you very much.
I'll move.
Ms. Beltran's moving, I'm sorry, Ms. Ibarra's moving the motion? And Supervisor Baca for the second.
Thank you. We have a motion by Member Ibarra and a second by Member Baca. Please state your votes for the record. Member Toro?
Yes.
Member Duper?
Yes.
Member Rigsby?
Yes.
Member Baca?
Baca, aye.
Member Armendariz?
Armendariz, aye.
Member Charette?
Yes.
And Member Ibarra?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, number 13, awarding a construction contract. Mr. Barrow.
Thank you, Mayor. Award of a construction contract to AEC Corporation in amount not to exceed 102 and for 102,000, for Building 58 partition wall and project, and authorize the Chief Executive Officer to execute all related documents. Staff solicited proposals from 5 qualified contractors. 4 proposals were received, and they range from 102 down to 131, and AEC was the lowest qualified contractor after reviewing them all. IVDA will use our standard contract agreement for this project, and staff recommend the board approves the above recommended action items. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Questions? Okay, Supervisor Baca with the first, and Supervisor Armendariz with the second.
Thank you. We have a motion by Member Baca and a second by Member Armendariz. Please state your votes for the record. Member Toro.
Yes.
Member Duper.
Yes.
Member Rigsby.
Yes.
Member Baca.
Baca.
Member Armendariz. Member Charette.
Yes.
And Member Ibarra.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, Mr. Burrows, let's review our action plan for the IVDA.
Okay, I'm going to be pretty brief here. Obviously, you've had a whole lot of UAS Center on your agenda. Appreciate that. And then, as Ms. Beltran has updated you, we're at the last bit of pre-construction phases with Caltrans on your 3rd Street project. So, looking forward, with our new activities there, hope to have an update for you on the other economic development initiatives on your business plan next meeting. And that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. We will now move into public hearing. We have one item, and that's the continuation of our public hearing to consider and discuss the Inland Valley Infrastructure Corridor and potentially adopt a resolution for such. So, Mr. Burrows.
So I just wanted to recap as we get going here, and appreciate everybody's patience. Obviously, this project has been moving along for some time. This is the project boundary here. Obviously, we're focused on the public rights of way, the roadways, drainage, utility infrastructure, and being able to develop a common roadmap for the IVDA and other agencies to be able to address substantial infrastructure improvements and needs in future years to come. So one of the reasons we engaged in this way as a joint powers authority is you have a couple of different jurisdictional boundaries there between the city of San Bernardino, city of Highland, and then obviously some county infrastructure, and trying to get a common design archetype out there that every agency can agree on to ensure that meets their general plan and public works requirements was the effort here. And thankfully, all of your member jurisdictions were very helpful in that and contributed to being able to get the final design here that we have and have been pursuing the entitlement for here. So some of the conditions out there, I don't need to tell you all. If you go to the next slide, we've got some infrastructure needs, and they continue. And we want to be able to work together regionally to aggregate funds, both federally, state, and locally, to roll out projects to address these public rights of way. And going forward, most recently, we've working with some of those same partners have been able to address some of those needs. But having this advance entitlement is an important piece to be able to get those funds moving back into this region and obviously implemented in projects and programs out there to address those needs. So as you know, the firm of Tom Dodson and Associates has been our lead environmentally on this project environmental impact report. Tom and Caitlin are here. I would actually like Caitlin to come up and just give you a recap process-wise of where we are as of today. Caitlin, if you would.
Hello, board members. Thank you for having me tonight. So we are just going to try to go through the kind of typical CEQA process versus what we did for the IVDA, IVIC project. And IVIC refers to Inland Valley Infrastructure Corridor from here forward. So typically you would start the process by publication of a new newspaper notice notifying the public of the notice of preparation, which is something that we did as well. And then you would kind of move forward to a notice of completion when you have when you have a draft environmental impact report available and ready for the public to review. Where we kind of differed in this particular instance is that our public review period was 62 days rather than the typical 45. So we tried to allow the public a little bit more time to absorb the document because it's quite large. And then moving on, during the public review process, you are not required by law to have a public meeting to discuss the project, except under certain circumstances that don't apply to this project. And we did hold a public meeting to disclose some information about the EIR and get questions and comments so that we could take those and incorporate them into a final EIR later. During the public review period, we received comments. We received about 60 comments in total, maybe a couple more. And some of those were supportive, some of those were, asking questions and technical data. And we responded to those comments over a period of several months, actually, so that we could make sure that we took in some late comment letters that came in after the end of the 62-day public review period. And published the final environmental impact report for public review on IVDA's website, and provided notice to everybody who provided a comment via USPS mail or by email, depending upon what they had indicated they were preferred on the comment letters that we received. And I believe that was posted in January. You saw us last in February, and here we are in March. I'll leave it to both of the mics to discuss the additional comments that were received after the FEIR. But here we are at the final environmental impact report for your consideration to certify. I did also want to note that the responses to comments were also provided in Spanish, because as you can see, we have a lot of Spanish speakers in the area. Any other? Oh, we'll move on to this. This is the actual slide that talks kind of about what we did over this this period. I would say that the typical timeline for a CEQA process for an environmental impact report is about 1 year long. You begin with that notice of preparation. Takes about 6 months to write an environmental impact report. And it can take between 2 to 4 months to respond to comments, depending upon their complexity. And by the end of that process, you end up where we are today. If you want to go to the next slide. We took, I would say, is it maybe now 1 year and 4 months or 1 year and 5 months to get through this process, because the EIR, we paid particular attention to the different types of infrastructure that are being contemplated, which requires a little bit more analysis and a little bit more writing, because you've got the East Valley Water District well and their reservoir being considered. You also have the roadway as well as City Creek, so you have to kind of analyze each of those individually or kind of as a whole, depending upon the impact category that we're analyzing. So that took about 9 months. And we moved on from that. And I would say overall, that's kind of where we spent the bulk of our time beyond the typical period, in addition to the lengthened public review period. So that's how we got here. Anything else, Mike?
No, Mr. Lewin will give you one last update, and that should catch us up as of to where we are. So appreciate it.
And we're available for questions once public comment is over, whatever you guys need. Thank you.
Okay, as indicated by Caitlin, we had received a significant amount of data and comments prior to our prior February board meeting, which we continued the hearing to this meeting to allow staff to respond to those. Responses were completed, they were published, they're put on the website. Earlier today, we received another comment letter that came in. That comment letter did not really add any new or additional environmental issues on it. The letter did, however, have a comment and a bit of an assertion that says that the IVDA did not have authority to actually approve a final EIR this evening, suggesting that the IVDA has been dissolved and lacks such authority. That is mistake. That is definitely not correct. The IVDA is recognized by the state as a valid existing and formed joint powers authority. If you were to check on the state controller site, you would see it's listed as a special district. You definitely do have the power to proceed forward and certify a final ER tonight, and you're definitely not dissolved and remain in good standing.
Okay, thank you. Just a real quick, just to summarize for my own clarity. So as we've talked about this project over the last many, many months, this has absolutely nothing to do with land use, correct?
That is correct. This
Okay,
is
so-
only within the public rights of way for public infrastructure, utility infrastructure.
So when we talk about streets and infrastructure, we mean the roadway surfaces, we're talking about utilities that could be along those roadways, we're talking about water, drainage, that type of stuff, correct?
Yes, public infrastructure here, so that whether you're in the city of Highland or the city of San Bernardino, everyone has the same standard for ultimate width improvement, curb, gutter, sidewalks, so that they connect.
Right, okay. So just and what you just said is to ensure that we have a plan so both cities mirror each other, so things are repaired to a standard that we all agree on, that match and that look nice, that beautify the area and all that, correct?
That's correct, and so that each agency having jurisdiction over those rights of way and those utilities and roads, everyone's in agreement that there's one standard for which the development to take place when it comes to those public rights of way. So this would not have anything to do with the issuance of a building permit. Those issues and responsibilities still rely with the municipal jurisdictions that would be reviewing those separately for their own environmental compliance.
Okay. And as of right now, there are no plans. We don't have anything in the works for this. We're just approving the general plan.
So what we're trying to do here is to basically entitle the infrastructure design for that corridor that you see depicted there. That is
no current projects?
No, we do not.
Okay. All right, thank you. This is a public comment, so we are going to open the public comment. That was kind of weird. This is broken. Anyway, and I know we do have some folks that want to be heard. So, Madam Clerk, I'll
Thank you,
turn
sir.
it over to your leadership.
Thank you. We currently have 25 requests to speak, so I will be calling you up by name. If you could please come up to the podium. Luis Ojeda. Thank you, sir.
Hello, good evening. I hope the mic is working. Thank you for allowing me to speak today. And I want to encourage everyone in this room to consider how the area looks like nowadays. With the pavement, there's some streets lack of sidewalks, is poorly lit. They have no, I mean, it's dangerous for the community. I understand that a lot of groups means well, and they want to encourage the people to come to this meeting, and I applaud that. But what I'm not in agreement with is for people to lie to the community with scare tactics. By the way, where is the clock?
You have 2 minutes. 2 minutes to go.
All right. So, anyways, so this is not fair. And I come from the logistic trucking industry. I used to own a trucking company. And that's the reason why I had to sell my business. Because CARB, California Air Resource Board, basically put me out of business. And a lot of groups, they've been using that to scare the people, claiming that you're going to get cancer, that it's bad. But no, we have to think about the economic development. This area is one of the poorest areas in the county. And we need to have a dialogue, but we have to have an honest dialogue, not to mislead, to lie to the community. And there's professional people that do that. We have several nonprofits that supposedly they're not profit, but that's how they make their living. I know many of them that they're here tonight, and that's what they do. I mean, don't take my word for it. I'm gonna tell this to the community. Don't allow to be led by people that is gonna lie to you. Because at the end of the day, once they blackmail either the city, either a developer, then all of a sudden they approve all the projects. And this is not fair for the community, because sometimes these kind of projects, they might take, I don't know, a year, 2, 3 years to come to fruition. Sometimes it takes 20 years, 15 years to happen. And in the meantime, who's worried? Who's concerned about that community? That's the real dilemma here. That you can lie, you can mislead these people, and at the end of the day, there's nobody there to really help with their need for good infrastructure. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Next, we have Ivan Garcia.
Buenas tardes, miembros del Consejo.
Good afternoon, Council. Sorry, one second. What's our time limit?
6 minutes for those that require a translation.
That's right.
Thank
Okay.
you, sir.
Good afternoon, council members.
Soy vecino de la comunidad de San Bernardino desde 1981.
I am a member of the community of, I'm a neighbor of the community of San Bernardino since 1981.
Estoy orgulloso por el crecimiento de San Bernardino y comparto y trabajo por él.
I am proud of the growth of San Bernardino. I share it and I work for it.
Empezamos juntando basura hace 5 años con un amigo, un proyecto que se acabó en el COVID, pero estuvimos orgullosos de esos y esperamos que siga adelante.
We started picking trash with a friend. It was a project which ended with COVID, but we were proud of it. And
esperamos que sigamos trabajando en ese proyecto. Era muy bueno para la ciudad.
And I hope we can work on that project again, since it was so good for the city.
Sin ningún tipo de cambio y sin ningún tipo monetario.
Without anything in exchange or any payment.
Siempre para ayudar a nuestra comunidad a hacerla grande, como nosotros somos grandes.
Always to assist our community to make it great as we are great.
Alguna cosa que he mirado en mis años pasados, aprobaron.
One thing I have observed in the past years, it was approved.
En la calle de San Bernardino y alrededor hicieron unas warehouses inmensas, bonitas.
In the streets of San Bernardino and the surroundings, some warehouses were built, gigantic.
Y a nosotros los pobres que vivimos en esa área no nos ofrecieron los servicios de ellos.
And to us, the poor who live in that area, their services were not offered to us.
Como los pluviales, drenaje, electricidad y pavimentación.
Like water from drainage and pavements.
Estoy muy defraudado por ese cambio que ha habido en mi comunidad.
I feel let down due to that change that have taken place in my community.
Parece que el dinero de los más poderosos sí cuenta y el de los pobres no, y aún vivimos ahí.
It seems like the money from the powerful counts and the money from the poor doesn't, and we still live there.
Tengo nada más unas palabras que decir. Pongamos atención primero en los más pobres y necesitados. Gracias.
We have some words to add. We have to pay attention to those who are in more need. Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker we have is Ivan Garcia.
Hi, good afternoon. This is Ivan Garcia. I'm a resident of the city of San Bernardino. I was born here, I have a lot of interest in the city. I'm here to speak about item J15 about the EIR. I hope you guys can certify this item tonight. I'm actually a property manager in the city. I really care about the city, and I'm all about making San Bernardino great again. Some perfect examples in our city is a new U-Haul Center. That's a state-of-the-art project. The other ones that we have is Elements housing plans, a lot of housing projects that are being approved within our city. Please don't let public comments or nonprofits derail you from approving this project. I also wanted to mention a recent new general contractor in the city, and I'm invested in the city. I want to be a volunteer. I want to continue to make this city great, and I see change. I've been involved in city council meetings and within the city since 2019. From 2019 to 2025, it's changed. It's getting better. Please continue to bring great things to our city. UAS, came to our city in February 2025. I think that's another example, another win for our city. I just want to say that please continue to improve development, economic development. I think it brings in jobs. There's going to be infrastructure improvements, sidewalks, street potholes, street lighting, and we're going to have more pleasant, happy residents in the city of San Bernardino. More businesses are going to want to come to our city. Again, like I mentioned, I'm a general contractor. I'm invested in our city, and I'm staying here, and I don't want to go. I want to help out in any way possible, help out the community, and I hope that our city continues to move forward. And thank you guys for my time, and I hope we can get this approved and move forward. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And the next speaker we have is Essie Camacho.
Hi, good evening, everyone and member boards. My name is Essie Camacho, and this is my father, Francisco Camacho. We are new to the community. We just moved about a year and a few months ago to here, the city of San Bernardino. And well, as we all know, there's been a lot of changes in the area. We see a lot of great improvements. One of the things that really has impacted me that I've never seen personally, that affects me and my son, because it's my father and my 6-year-old son, is that up until, I want to say about 2 weeks ago, we were not able at all to go to any park because of the homeless situation. And that's something that I don't know if I can address here, because as we see, all these important projects, advancements that are definitely going to help our community and everything, but at the same time, I don't know if those things are being taken into consideration. Like I said, up until like 2 weeks ago, all of a sudden the parks are being cleared. My father, for the first time over the weekend, took my son to the park, and to a park that I would always see just packed, not even a little bit of area where anybody could use and play, So I'm really appreciative of that. But he did want to voice some concerns that literally are on the road where we live and what we see around us. So I'm going to pass it over to my father, and that way he could mention and I'll translate for him. So
Sí, mi nombre es Francisco Camacho y lo que yo quería decir es cuando nosotros llegamos a la comunidad, a la avenida Norman Road.
So my father, his name is Francisco Camacho. When we arrived here to the community in San Bernardino on Norman Road,
no había pavimentación.
There wasn't any road, actually, like pavement. It was a dirt road.
Y cuando la construyeron no nos tomaron para nada en consideración porque nosotros tenemos fosas sépticas abrieron la carretera.
So when the pavement was put in on the road, we were not taken into consideration. Like nobody came to ask us anything in regards to the sewer system and all of that, because our houses have septic systems, and
Enfrente de los buildings de Amazon está todo pavimentado y nuestras calles solo una bardita pusieron.
so on the next to our where we live, Norman Road, Amazon has their warehouses and other warehouses, and they did get the sewer systems, put and stuff, but they didn't take into consideration us.
Pues nos gustaría que tuvieran consideración en vigilar la comunidad.
And he's just asking if we can be taken into consideration, the community, in regards to that respect.
Gracias por su
Okay,
atención.
thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next speaker we have is Miriam Nieto.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I know some of you guys. I am here, a resident of the city of San Bernardino. I currently reside in the 7th Ward, but I also own a home in the 6th Ward, which is on the west side. And I just want to say, I know that the city of San Bernardino has received some infrastructure funding specifically to serve the community and helping with some of these potholes, some of the streets and so forth. I'm not exactly sure where and how it's been utilized, and I just have some questions. Is some of that being utilized for this project? And if so, why? And another question, we have been calling actually some of our city and council members in regards to some of the streets on the west side. There are potholes everywhere, and I'm sure you guys keep hearing about them, but I live on 14th and Western, and that street has remained the same, really bad for the time that I've lived there since 2007. It hasn't changed. So again, hearing this infrastructure conversation around warehousing and hearing that two cities are coming together to finally work on this infrastructure plan, that's exciting. But we also hope that there is some of that same excitement with some of the people who are living, as Mr. Luis Ojeda mentioned, in one of the poorest communities here in the city. That's why that funding is needed, because projects like warehousing tend to be in the poorest communities, because projects like warehousing tend to be the ones that are always budgeted for and allocated more funding for, versus actual communities where people reside and where people potentially pay property taxes, are commuting, are paying taxes for everything that they purchase here. We need that safety. The people also need to feel that safety. The people also need to feel that love from y'all, that there's funding, there's support, there's resources coming down, and we just want to see that. We are excited for the conversations you guys are having. I know that that's been a difficult thing to do, also to have conversations with both the city of Highland and San Bernardino coming together. We just hope that it really is for the betterment of the community, the people, and not just for special interests like warehousing. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next speaker is Lizette Torres.
Hello. I'm too young to have kids, but I have nieces and nephews, and living in a multi-generational home, you take care of the kids, and I don't know if you know what it's like to feel guilty conscious, to have, when you want to play outside with your niece and nephew, but one of them has asthma, and the air here is so terrible that you just can't in good conscience play with them outside. So you have to make up so many games to play indoors. I think we all here want a great community. So listen to the community and not the people with the biggest pockets. I think that's what nourishes the community. That's what gets more participation. And I think a lot of the motivation here is, well, we bring jobs, more warehousing jobs. Have you worked a warehousing job? It's debilitating, you're abused. It's one of the most dangerous occupations here. It's terrible for our air, as we know. Lots of wage theft. I mean, the issues are rampant. So why would we want more of those jobs when we want sustainable jobs, not jobs that are hurting our communities, hurting our air, hurting the elderly? We want to be cared for. We want this to be sustainable. We don't want short-term solutions just to make a pretty paycheck that in 10 years will run dry, and 10 years will destroy our community even more. So I encourage to listen to the community, and that way we'll stop being as annoying, but no promises.
Thank you. The next speaker is Gerardo Lopez. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Next up is Rosa Reyes.
Hola, buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Rosa Reyes.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Rosa Reyes.
Yo quiero saber por qué no nos han comunicado acerca de los proyectos que tienen en nuestra comunidad.
I would like to know why it's not being communicated to us about the projects that the community has.
Me siento que estoy siendo discriminada, yo y mi familia y mi comunidad.
I feel like I'm being discriminated, myself, my family, and my community.
Por favor, tómenos en cuenta. Gracias.
Please take us into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Rosario Quiros. Rosario?
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Rosario Quiros y vivo en la calle 4 y tuve la oportunidad de ver el mapa por donde va a pasar su proyecto de infraestructura y me di cuenta que en el mapa no aparecen las calles de nuestra comunidad. ¿Sí? ¿Sigo? Solamente aparecen 2 o 3 calles principales.
Good afternoon. My name is Rosario Quiros, and I live on 4th Street, and I had the opportunity of taking a look to the map where your project is gonna go through, the infrastructure. And I noticed that in that map does not show the streets of our community. It only shows 2 or 3 main streets.
Yo considero que la zona residencial tiene mucha deficiencia de infraestructura. No tenemos calles bien pavimentadas, no tenemos banquetas, necesitamos un buen alumbrado y muchas otras cosas más.
I consider that our residential zone has a lot of deficiencies. The infrastructure, we have our streets are not, the pavement is not in good shape. We have no sidewalks. We need a good lighting and many other things.
Sabemos que los fondos están ahí, que parte de esos fondos provienen de nuestros impuestos. Considero justo que nos incluyan en su proyecto que puede beneficiar a toda nuestra comunidad. Muchas gracias.
We know the funds are there, and that part of those funds come from the taxes we pay. I consider fair that if you guys include us in your project, that can be of benefit to all our community. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next is Pascual Garcia. Pascual Garcia. Thank you.
Buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Pascual García y vivo en la calle Col como 20 años. Y nosotros somos de la tercera edad y no sabemos cuántas bodegas van a poner alrededor de nosotros que nos están contaminando, pues. Y tenemos niños capacitados que necesitan ayuda también y no respirar aire malo, porque si nos rodean de bodegas va a hacer mucho ruido, va a ser más contaminación. Yo quisiera que nos tomaran en cuenta porque arreglar las cosas mejor. Muchas gracias.
Ok, espere. Quédese que traduzca, ¿Pascual qué?
García.
Good afternoon, my name is Pascual Garcia. I've been on Court Street for about 20 years. I'm an elderly person, and I notice you are working on bringing more warehouses. And I want to say this, we have disabled kids, we have kids with breathing problems, and I want to ask you to stop that. Having more warehouses is gonna bring more noise, more contamination, more pollution. So I just want you to take us into consideration. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next is Eza Farino Salazar. Eza Farino. Eza Farino Salazar. Thank you. Next is Delia Guzman.
Hola, muy buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Delia Guzmán y estoy del Centro de Recursos para Trabajadores de Bodega. Estoy en apoyo a nuestra comunidad y me expreso ante ustedes que vienen trayendo más y más proyectos de infraestructura. Dicen que habrá mejoras. ¿Para quién? ¿Para quién va a haber mejoras? ¿Para ellos o para la industria logística?
¿Cuál es su nombre?
Delia Guzmán.
Good afternoon. My name is Delia Guzman. I'm from the Center of Resources for Workers of Warehouses, and I'm here in support of our community. I'm expressing to you that you are bringing more and more projects of infrastructure, and according to you, there are going to be improvements for who? Just for those, just for the logistic industry, because for the residents.
Sí, para la industria logística. ¿Por qué para los residentes solo hay impactos en su salud, en su economía, en seguridad, ya que ustedes en el reporte solo están considerando la infraestructura, en arreglar carreteras y no están considerando cómo estos proyectos afectan a los residentes?
Okay. So for the industry of logistics, because for residents, there are only impacts in their health, economy, safety. Since you guys in the report, you are only considering the infrastructure and fixing roads, and you are not considering how this project affects residents.
Asimismo, considerando el aumento de tráfico de vehículos, trailers, lo que conlleva a la inseguridad de las escuelas, en donde se lleva a cabo los proyectos y caminan nuestros hijos en bicicleta, no hay banquetas, no hay luz y está muy mal las calles.
Okay. In the report, you're considering the infrastructure and fixing roads, and you are not considering how this project affects residents, considering the increasing of the vehicles, traffic, trucks, which is going to bring safety issues to pedestrians, kids, youth that walk on the streets without sidewalks after they leave school.
¿Qué hacen ustedes para que los residentes tengan claridad sobre los proyectos actuales y futuros?
What you guys do in order for the residents to have clarity about the actual projects and future projects?
¿Cómo es que ellos se enteran de lo que se llevará a cabo en infraestructura en su comunidad?
How will they find out about what is going to take place about infrastructure in the community?
No hay claridad, porque solo dan su alcance por medio de mandar avisos por correo.
There is no clarity since you just reach out through notifications by mail.
Y eso solo para que hagan acto de presencia, porque no se les toma en cuenta en traer lo que traen su plan.
And that is only to having to be present, because you are not taking them into consideration about to communicate what you have in your plan.
Ni siquiera le dicen de lo que se trata el estar aquí. No les interesa la comunidad, porque es que ustedes no viven aquí y solo toman decisiones sin tomarlos en cuenta.
You don't even explain what they are here for. You are not interested in the community. It's because all you do not live here. You just make decisions without taking them into consideration. But those who have the impact, we are here to raise our voices and say what we want to say.
Por eso, sin tomarlos en cuenta. Pero hoy los impactados estamos aquí para levantar nuestras voces y decir, no queremos que ustedes vengan a decidir en nuestra casa.
But now, today, those who receive the impact, we are here to raise our voices and say, we don't want you to come and say what we have to do in our houses.
Queremos que den seguimiento a estos problemas que enfrentamos como residentes aquí en San Bernardino, y que no solo nuestras palabras se queden en este cuarto. Pueden ustedes y queremos respuestas.
We want you to follow up on these issues that we face as residents in San Bernardino. We don't want only words. We don't want this conversation to remain between these four walls. We want answers.
Muchas gracias. Queremos que nos escuchen. Somos varias personas que estamos aquí en San Bernardino.
Thank you very much.
Gracias.
Thank you so much. We want to be heard. There are several people that are here in San Bernardino.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Serafino Salazar. Serafino? Okay. Then, thank you, sir.
Hola, buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Seferino Salazar y estoy
aquí.
Good afternoon. My name is Seferino Salazar. I'm here present.
Estoy aquí porque soy un nuevo residente en la área y no es, yo me acabo de enterar hace poco que acabo de mudarme acá y no sabemos qué va a pasar. Yo acabo de mudarme acá y ahora sé que pronto, sin tomarnos en consideración nosotros como dueños de propiedad.
Okay, I'm a new resident in the area, and I just realized I just moved here, and I just learned this without taking us into consideration as property owners.
¿Por qué no nos preguntan a nosotros o por qué ¿por qué no nos quieren sacar así? O por qué como yo acabo de agarrar acá, ¿por qué no antes de yo comprar, por qué no me dijeron que está pasando todo esto? Entonces podemos pensar más.
Why you guys didn't ask, you know, basically you guys are trying to take us out. Why don't, before we do our purchase, why you do not inform?
Y lo que queremos es que como yo sé que es cuestión de dinero, porque mejor no se ponen como a cuidar más la comunidad, porque no se preocupan por la juventud, por la niñez, porque no se preocupan eso y se van con la ambición del dinero.
I know this is about money. Why don't you take care more of the youth, the community, the children? Why don't you take care of all this instead of going, you know, through the path of the ambition of money?
Muchas gracias.
That's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next speaker is Elias Medina. Elias Medina.
Buenas tardes. I speak English and Spanish. I bilingual, but I wanted this event to be by me for any say. I hear about all the projects, los proyectos que están yendo en nuestra comunidad. Hay muchos problemas y anomalías que están pasando en nuestra ciudad de Highland y de San Bernardino, que no nos toman como que no existiéramos acá y hacen las decisiones sin preguntarnos. A muchos no nos llegó la correspondencia de este meeting, ni siquiera a un 75% le llegó la correspondencia que iba a haber meeting sobre esto. Yo ya tengo acá 40 años, más de 40 años en la comunidad.
Okay, I'm here to talk about the projects that are in process, and I want to ask why, the city hasn't taken into consideration the residents of the city of Highland, San Bernardino. It seems like we do not exist. You guys make these decisions and do not ask us. We receive a notification about this meeting, but not even 75% of the people receive this notification. I've been in the community for 40 years.
Hay muchos problemas. El problema número uno que quiero yo hablar es sobre la nueva estructura que pusieron ustedes aquí en la calle 5 y la del Rosa Drive, que es para reciclaje de agua, que está contaminando todo el aire para toda la comunidad y está enfermando a la gente. A mucha gente ya no quiere estar allá porque ese reciclaje que pusieron allá, no sé si fue legal o ilegal porque no nos preguntaron a nadie, y está enfermando a mucha gente que ya no pueden ni respirar y está impactando muchas cosas.
Okay, there are many issues. The first issue I want to speak about is about the new structure that is located on 5th Street and Del Rosa Drive. This is water recycling. Is polluting, is making people sick. I don't know if this recycling was done legally or illegally, but people is getting sick because of it.
El agua que está llegando a nuestras casas ahora está completamente contaminada de todas las tuberías que tenemos en nuestra casa. Ahorita, donde se pasa el agua de enfrente de las casas, todavía, yo tengo 40 años esperando para que donde corre el agua de las casas de enfrente de nosotros pongan una casa de tubería para que pueda correr bien esa agua y no se estén inundando nuestras casas de tanta agua, que no tenemos el drenaje apropiado como debe ser para que sea un trabajo bien hecho, que es lo que necesitamos y por eso pagamos nuestros taxes. No tenemos banquetas, no tenemos seguridad.
Okay, so the water is polluted. The piping, the piping we have, there is an area where water runs. It doesn't have the proper piping. Our sewer system is the proper one we have, but you guys have to build the proper piping there. And also, we have no sidewalks, we have no safety.
Les doy muchas gracias a todos por este meeting que estamos teniendo, que nos escuchen a nosotros, a la comunidad, que ya tenemos muchos más. Yo sé que entiendo que ustedes no viven en la comunidad, puede ser más retirado de acá y no sienten el impacto como toda la comunidad aquí presente lo está sintiendo ahora en todos estos años que yo ya tengo 40 años acá viviendo en esta comunidad. Solo le quiero, por favor, please, que nos escuchen, por favor. Muchas gracias.
Okay, thank you so much for doing this meeting. I've been here for many years, but I know you guys do not live here. You don't feel the impact the community feels. I've been here for 40 years in the community, and I just want to let you know that the community wants to be heard. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The next speaker is Jose Rosales. Jose Rosales. Janet Porcayo.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Janet Porcayo with the Warehouse Workers Research Center. Hearing that you guys are bringing more projects here is impacting me and the community. You guys have money to create more warehouses, but don't have money for sidewalks, schools, houses, parks. Where can the kids walk? There's traffic passing by and trailers going back and forth. It's putting our kids' safety in danger, and not only that, but the air quality is so bad because of all the warehouses. I have asthma, and this impacts me so much that there's times that I can't even breathe. Even having a mask on, it doesn't even help out at all. Instead of building the infrastructure to facilitate the construction of building more warehouses, you should be thinking about the infrastructure to support the needs of the community. Thank you.
The next speaker is Brenda Huerta. Brenda, thank you.
Well, first of all, I just wanted to point out that it's really disrespectful to be in your phone when people are trying to talk to you and address some of the concerns that clearly people have and you haven't addressed for so many years. My name is Brenda Soto, and I'm here to express my admiration for the community behind me, because these are the people that have been talking to their neighbors door to door, letting them know about the project. I don't understand how is it possible that people are not being notified about the project.
Yeah, you might have sent it out via mail, but it didn't go to all of the people that have been impacted. A lot of folks didn't know that this project is happening. And you might argue that it's to help the infrastructure of the community, but we know the reality. I know it's to help out the construction and the facilitation to bring more warehouses to our communities. People are here to try to get some answers. We've been trying to meet with you for the past few months. We haven't received any responses. We are trying to meet you in the middle, but clearly you don't want that. So we are not gonna leave until we get answers. You need to stop selling our health and our communities to developers. Just how you did it to Bloomington, you are trying to do it here. Right, Mr. Baca? Thank you.
The next speaker is Howard Davis. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Howard Davis. I'm a taxpayer. Been here for over a decade, over 10 years. Is it true that your project is over 20 years or 20 years? And if it is, it's too long. If you're going to do something, you should try to consolidate it within a time frame where we can all see it and get it done. I mean, another thing, I've never seen, since I've been here over a decade, I haven't seen no kind of street improvements on 5th Street. I take 5th Street all the way down almost every day because I don't take 6th Street because it's a school, you know. So I take 5th, and there's a lot of potholes. You know, you guys should take pride in your streets and start fixing the potholes, sidewalks. And it shouldn't take 20 years. It takes a high rise. I do construction. It takes a high rise to go up 50 floors, 3 years. And that's all, I mean, I do construction work. So if you can, at least consolidate it within a time frame so we can all see the work being done and not just milking it. Thank you.
Next is Kathleen Contreras.
Good evening. I'm Kathleen Contreras, or Kathleen actually, but that's all right. I've lived in the neighborhood for over 40 years. In your little street project, you don't have the side streets to begin with, but you say you're putting in the newspaper. How many people actually get the newspaper anymore? So when you're gonna do a project or something, you have to put up signs and come around and actually tell people. We've got people going through the neighborhood taking pictures and stuff, but you're not informing the residents of what you're over there doing. When you did the environmental impact, did you actually go into the neighborhood and check out the neighborhood that was there? I live on Del Rosa Drive. The big sewer cover in front of my house, every car that drives over it, it's not level with the road. I have to hear that 24 hours a day. You got all these big rigs coming in and out with all these cars 24 hours a day. Where is the truck route, as a matter of fact? Does it go up 5th Street? Does it go down this way on 5th Street? They're coming in 24 hours a day. My windows are shaking. My house is vibrating. And it's not only mine, it's everybody in the neighborhood. It's the side streets too. I see the kids going to school every day having to jump out of the way from the cars going over to the corner. You got a high school right here. You got a junior high down the street. You got mothers walking with strollers trying to get to the elementary school down the other way. There is not one sidewalk in this whole neighborhood except for by the resource center and in front of the high school. What is your timeline? Because when we were at the meeting before, they said it was gonna be like 20 years and they were gonna do so many feet from Victoria going towards Sterling. Well, that isn't doing anybody any good because right now, that's open. That used to be the old base housing. And then there's a warehouse and there are a few houses. 5th Street is so bad. Lancashire is horrible. The bottom end of my car got ripped off hitting a pothole in the rain a couple weeks ago. I had to pay to get that fixed. So you guys need to start taking a look around what's going around in the neighborhood. I know you're tired of hearing the same thing over and over and over again, but we're tired of getting the same treatment over and over and over again. When they were gonna do the Gateway project, nobody came around, nobody posted a sign anywhere that was canceled. People were wound up, people were upset. I've paid off my home. You know, I don't want to go live somewhere and I got to go pay a house payment now. I've worked all my life.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next is John Ruiz. John Ruiz. Next is Everardo. Everardo. Thank you.
Hello. I live not far from here towards Tippecanoe and Central since about 2008. I'm an avid rider of Omnitrans, and I have some things to say in regard to the fact sheet of this project, stating that the project will provide a safe space for pedestrians, cyclists, transit, and also motor vehicles. I first would like to ask for specifics in regard to what will be done to ensure that these safe spaces will exist for each of these groups, as it is a little bit vague in the verbiage. When I personally think of a safe space for pedestrians, I think of curb extensions, as well as installing medians as a traffic calming measure to promote overall safety for everyone. I realize the project will not include this particular one, but when I think of a cyclist vision for a safe space, I would think of protected bike lanes as well. I previously left a public comment asking if there were plans for any new transit routes in the area, and was told that the need for bus stops and routes would be assessed as development occurs over the course of 20 years in an incremental fashion. Where I live, the Omnitrans Route 8 passes by once an hour. Before the San Bernardino Transit Center was opened, the Route 8 used to pass by the airport, and since it's been opened, they rerouted it to now turn on Mill instead of continuing onto Harry Shepherd Boulevard. So I just wanted to comment saying that I think that one thing that we should look at is something that Omnitrans defines as a community circulator, going from some part of Highland towards the airport and towards specifically on Tippecanoe Avenue, the Tippecanoe stop for Metrolink, as this is an area that the arrow passes by as well. It could also turn onto the Victoria Elementary in North Loma Linda. That does not have any immediate transit accessibility. There's a stop about a half a mile away. And then it could also go into the VA hospital towards Loma Linda. It'll connect with more routes that way. Whatever ends up happening, that would be cool. But I bring it up not necessarily because it's the responsibility of the IVDA or your guys' jurisdiction, but because this is a joint powers authority between San Bernardino, Colton, and Loma Linda, I wanted to bring awareness towards this portion of San Bernardino, Redlands, and also Loma Linda, where if you look online, I would suggest everybody to, for the Omnitrans service route or service map, you can see that there is no transit in that exact area where there is a lot of warehouses, and it's really hard when you live really close towards these warehouses and these jobs. But I'm personally not able to drive to them, so I would be relying on public transit, and instead I'm looking at bus rides for 2 to 3 hours going into like Fontana or Rialto for a job when these things are literally in my backyard. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next is Jose, I believe the last name is Cortez. Cortez. Okay, next is Jose Solorzano.
Buenas tardes. Mi nombre es José Solorzano. Pues tienen bastante trabajo que realizar.
Good afternoon. My name is José Solórzano. You guys have a lot of work to get done.
Yo tengo 5 años aquí viviendo, pero tengo varios aquí vecinos. que tienen 40 años y no han solucionado ustedes muchos trabajos que son de suma importancia.
I've been here for 5 years, but my neighbors, they have been here for 40 years, and you haven't bring any solution to jobs that they're supposed to be solved a long time ago.
Como ustedes me ven, yo ya estoy en edad, pero también habemos varias personas aquí que necesitamos nosotros amar nuestra vida y amar también a todos nuestros hermanos.
As you can see, I'm an elderly person, and but there's also several people who need to love their lives and the rest of their peers.
Entonces yo también les pido que por favor, así como nos pusimos la mano en el corazón hace rato, también póngansela ustedes y hagan algo por esta comunidad. Yo también aquí estoy, pero ya me falta poquito. Pero vienen nuestros nietos, están nuestros hijos y queremos un lugar seguro para seguir viviendo.
I want to ask you to place your hand on your heart as we did earlier and do what you're supposed to do. We have to do this for our kids, grandchildren. I'm gonna be leaving, at some point soon, but they need to keep living here. So let's do it for them.
Es bonito que estén también pensando en el futuro, que acá nuestros hermanos, los que están en los proyectos, que hacen su dinero, está muy bien. Yo no le tomo nada mal a esto. Pero solucionen problemas que ya existen en esta comunidad. Eso es lo que yo pido, justamente porque yo también pago impuestos, como ustedes también lo hacen, pero ustedes quizás no están sufriendo las consecuencias de todo este ambiente que estamos aquí.
Okay, it's nice you think about the future, and these people who's spending their money on projects is great, but you have to solve our issues. Probably, I pay taxes same as you do, but think about these issues we have. We are feeling these issues like pollution, getting sick due to all this.
Así que yo espero ver banquetas, porque en un futuro probablemente por ahí vaya quemando llanta en una silla de ruedas.
I want to see sidewalks get done because probably at some point I'm going to be burning tire of my scooter.
He visto unas personas que pasan aquí por las 5 que créanmelo, probablemente casi ya desbaratado al hospital a donde va porque una asaltadera. Y ustedes lo han visto, las calles no están tan buenas para caminar. Así que consideren bien lo que tienen que hacer.
I have seen people who's riding their scooter and they're on their way to the hospital, and this scooter is almost in pieces due to the bad condition of the road, of the streets. So think about all the stuff you have to get done, please.
Entonces yo con eso me despido. Tengan en cuenta lo que la comunidad necesita. No solamente traer proyectos porque nos sigan afectando. Estamos sufriendo las consecuencias de los incendios. Aquí se encierra toda la capa de humo. Entonces, piensen cómo sacar esa madera, cómo solucionar problemas pesados que sí existen. Ese dinero de acá de mis hermanos, pónganlo a trabajar. A lo mejor por ahí sale una buena obra.
Okay, this is it. So think about, we're suffering due to all the smoke that is enclosed here. So think about how you get in a solution on how you could take it out. So let's put our tax money to work from all the community. Let's put the money to work.
Es todo lo que tengo para ustedes. Muchísimas gracias y que sigamos para adelante.
Is all I have for you. Thank you so much. Let's keep going forward.
Thank you.
Next is Ana Solorzano.
Hola, buenas tardes.
Good afternoon.
Ay, joder, permítame. No, yo sé que puedo. Okay. Para empezar, mi casa no se vende.
To
Okay.
start, my house is not for sale.
Ya. Tenemos un hongo al pie de las montañas de contaminación. No queremos más contaminación.
We have a mushroom at the base of the mountain of contamination, and we don't want that anymore.
O sea, San Bernardino necesita más atención, ¿ok?
San Bernardino needs more attention.
O sea, un proyecto pluvial, no creo que San Bernardino se inunde, ¿ah? No se inunda. Calles, eso de agarrar un puñito de grava, taparlo el hoyito, nomás hacerle así, ¿esos son los impuestos que estamos pagando?
We're paying taxes, and getting some gravel and trying to top off some potholes is not enough. Is that what our taxpayer dollars are going towards?
No hay luz. 3 veces han roto el switch de mi carro. ¿Por qué? No hay seguridad, no hay luz.
There is no adequate street lighting. My car has been victim of repair because of the inadequate repairs.
Esas son las prioridades de San Bernardino.
Those are the priorities of San Bernardino.
Sí. Ahora otra cosa, nos ha llegado un cheque para que nosotros lo depositemos, dicen que sin ninguna pregunta, ¿ok?
Another thing, we've been receiving checks that says you can cash it, you can deposit it without questions.
¿Por qué? No queremos más bodegas, nos quieren correr, nos están asfixiando.
Why? Because they're trying to smuggle us out. They're trying to get us to leave the community. They're trying to close us in.
Dicen que en 20 años van a hacer ese proyecto, 1 yarda por año. ¿Quién me asegura que voy a vivir 20 años más?
They're saying that this project is going to take 20 years. Who can assure me that I'm going to live for those 20 years?
Terminan una bodega en 1 año. O sea, no, I'm sorry. Una milla, ok. Van a empezar el siguiente año otra milla. Para eso entonces esa milla ya está destruida.
You're saying that this project will accomplish 1 mile per year. By the end of that year, that mile will be done.
Necesitamos seguridad para nuestros hijos. No hay luz de semáforos, no hay banquetas. Eso es lo que necesitamos. No más smog.
We need security for our community. We need security for our children. No more smog.
No más transporte pesado por nuestras calles, ¿sí?
We do not want any more heavy transportation coming through our streets.
Ubiquen, por favor, todo el transporte pesado para otras calles. Recuerden, cruza mucho niño ahí, mucho niño que va a las escuelas. No tenemos parques tampoco decentes como para llevar a nuestros hijos ahí y respirar un aire limpio. No lo hay.
You need to route the heavy transportation away from our communities. We cannot even take our kids to the parks. It's not safe. There's nowhere to take them to in the area.
Pensemos en nuestras futuras generaciones. Eso es lo que queremos. San Bernardino necesita mucho, no proyectos que no son visibles. La verdad, no nos están hablando con la verdad. Eso es todo. Muchísimas gracias.
We need communities that are going to benefit. We need projects that are going to benefit our communities. The reality is that we are not being told what is happening with these projects. We need to take our community into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The next speaker is Alberto H. Next speaker is Tanya G. And the last speaker is Brenda Soto. Okay, then we have no more speakers, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. We're going to go and close the public hearing. Move on to questions from the board.
I have a question.
Go ahead. Yes.
Okay, so I'm resonating on some of the comments that were made, and in fact, there are tiny streets between 3rd and 5th that are not included in this major project. I'm noticing most of those streets are considered City of Highland. Have we had communication with the City of Highland to see if we can also fix those streets that they mentioned, some of the speakers that we had here?
Yeah, I'll take that one. So the reason those aren't included is the Highland General Plan currently has those designed for ultimate width, and this would not modify that design. The changes that are proposed here to be able to get a common infrastructure footprint were those larger arterials that did not align between the two cities.
Okay, so for the smaller...
That doesn't mean those smaller roads can't get improved by the City of Highland.
Correct, so that was my next question.
Their general plan accommodates for that today.
That they should definitely contact the City of Highland directly.
Correct.
To fix those tiny streets. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Chair Duper. Well, first of all, I want to thank the community for coming out. I appreciate everyone coming and sharing their concerns. And there was a lot of concerns here. I know that I know sometimes people feel we're not listening, but I wrote down a lot of notes. And I think it's important that your voice is heard, and we are listening. This board is listening. And everybody here on this dais represents different jurisdictions. Myself and Supervisor Armendariz represent the County of San Bernardino. There's individuals from Loma Linda, the City of San Bernardino, and the City of Colton. So we're coming here to deal with this specific item here. One of the comments is that, this has to do with the warehouse. This has nothing to do with a warehouse or any land use. We don't make any land use decisions. If there's an item that wants to be built in the City of San Bernardino, the City of San Bernardino has to approve it. If there's any item that wants to be approved in the City of Highland, the City of Highland has to approve it. We don't make those decisions. And I believe there's a small piece in this corridor that's the County of San Bernardino. So that would come to the County Board of Supervisors if we were to approve any piece of that. So we don't make any land use decisions here. We're not approving any project or any project that's going on. Some of the comments were made about sewer and infrastructure. I think that's important to understand is that's not in our jurisdiction. So I believe it's the East Valley Water District that represents any sewer that's put on in this community. I know that I've had discussions with them in our unincorporated county areas about potentially adding sewer. But in regards to the project that sewer was put, they actually paid for the sewer to be installed. So keep that in mind. And I know a lot of times many people are on septic tanks. A lot of times there's connection fees with that. So if you want to connect, you have the ability to connect, but there has to be trunk lines going through the streets, and also you have to pay a connection fee, which is very, very expensive. I know that's hard for individuals. The other thing that was mentioned in regards to transportation, the Omni-Trans Board of Directors that make those decisions. If you have a specific item that you would like to talk about, I'm willing to meet with you and have a conversation with Aaron Rodgers about potentially having a route coming through if it's feasible, if it makes sense. The other thing I want to keep in mind, I know an individual said that they get checks in regards to selling their homes. And I get those checks too. I own a home just within this jurisdiction, just maybe a quarter mile outside, right off 9th and Sterling and Lancashire. I own a home which my daughter, grandchildren, and my son-in-law live in. And I get those checks all the time. I just shred them because I'm not selling this home. I have no interest in selling this home. I lived here for 5 years at one point in time in my life. The other thing to keep in mind, I know some people were concerned about streets, street lights, sidewalks. If we don't take action to approve this, this delays all those things getting done. This just pushes it down the line. So that means it takes even longer to get it. So the action we're taking tonight, if the board approves, is to make sure that we have the ability to have infrastructure in these. Now, if you have concerns about other areas, I would take it up with that jurisdiction in regards to potholes, streets, and other things. But if we don't take action here, people don't realize that anytime you build a new road, you add sidewalks, you add infrastructures, environmental impact report has to be done. And that's all we're approving tonight is just the impact report so we can potentially allow these jurisdictions to get these things done. We could also advocate on their behalf for that. This will also allow for the infrastructure. I know some people mentioned that sewer and other things. This will allow these things to be put in. This will also allow for additional street lights to put in and sidewalks in these areas, only within the blue lines that were in the map, I believe on page 168 of the report. Any other areas outside of that, it's up to those jurisdictions if they want to complete it, fix it, or not. So just keep that in mind. And also to keep in mind, we have a lot of travelers that come from Redlands, come from Highland, and we have a lot of people that come through here. And I think that's important to keep in mind. One of the long-term visions of this agency is to really try to build up the airport. And I think this corridor will help with the airport and infrastructure needed here, because we have Breeze Airway, which is here, and we'd like to see them grow, because that means more amenities for our community, more infrastructure, more revenue to the the community. I think those are important. I know people mention things about parks and other things, and I would go to your jurisdictions and share your concerns about parks. We don't approve parks here. Now, as a county supervisor, I have Bloomington, I have that community which I address parks and regional parks. But in regards to parks, we don't do these things. But I just want to say that all this will do is allow us to improve pedestrian travel. In regards to truck routes, I think you have to talk to these jurisdictions and share your concerns about truck routes. We don't make truck route decisions here. That's not within our jurisdiction. And I don't know if Mr. Burrows, if you want to add or comment to my comments or make any comments.
No, I appreciate that. And on the truck route item itself, we in this this plan, the design that we worked on with the various jurisdictions, they have in their general plans established truck routes. So this makes sure that those are aligned. So one city's truck route goes into another city's and that they connect. And that's important. That's not to say that other truck routes won't be established, but this process encourages that those two cities communicate with one another when those things are going on.
Appreciate it, Mike. Thank you for your comments.
I just would like to add to what the supervisor said, and he couldn't have been presented it better and more clear. The idea here in this board is to try to get these different agencies working together. And the idea with this specific project is to come to a common understanding of the involved jurisdictions, so it's all done the same. So we don't have different pieces here and different pieces there. And the idea is so the whole area and region looks better, it feels better, it produces better, it's better for our families and our residents. And exactly what the supervisor said, very well put. This board is trying to get other government agencies together and working together. That's really kind of our primary mission. So we can't solve all the problems, but we can take on a couple of the things that we think are important, and this is an important project to us in our communities. So, any other comments?
No. Move to approve.
Okay. Motion by Supervisor Baca. A second by Supervisor Armendariz.
Thank you. We have a motion by Member Baca and a second by Member Armendariz. Please state your votes for the record. Member Toro.
Yes.
Member Duper.
Yes.
Member Rigsby.
Yes.
Member Baca.
Baca, aye.
Member Armendariz.
Armendariz, aye.
Member Charette.
Yes.
And Member Ibarra.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to our open session public comment. Do we have any speaker slips?
No, sir, we do not.
Okay. Any board member comments?
Phil, Chairman, I'd just like to reemphasize, if anyone in this audience would like to have a meeting with our office and have further conversations, I think it's important, the education process and really getting people to understand the process. I wouldn't vote for anything I didn't think was good for the community. I believe this is great for the community, but, we're not, our intent is not to put people in harm's way. So I appreciate everyone participating today. Thank you for being here today.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any other comments from the board? All right, we will be adjourned.